Let me tell you about our fourth panel discussion that we are going to have is all about lifestyle changes and nutraceuticals. That's about nutrients, food, diets, and people. All right. So, let me request our moderator of the session to please join me on the stage. Give him a big round of applause, Mr. Vikram Kelkar. Everybody, can we have a huge round of applause for Mr. Vikram Kelkar, Managing Director, Hexagon Nutrition. Heartiest welcome to you, sir. All right. It's now time to request our panelists to kindly join us on the stage, starting with Dr. Narendra Tripathi, AVP, Quality and Regulatory Affairs, BACFO, Pharmaceuticals, India. I'm looking for sir. I think okay. All right. Heartiest welcome, sir. Next, we have Mr. Rajesh Nodial, GM Manufacturing, Dharampal Satyapal Foods. Big round of applause. Then we have Mr. Pratap Swain, Global Head R&D, Parle Biscuits. Heartiest welcome to you. Next in the panel, joining us, we have Dr. A.K. Tyagi, Executive Director, Haldiram Snacks. Heartiest welcome to you, sir. Next on the panel, joining us, Dr. Kajal Joshi, Nutrition Manager, Foods R&D, Marico. Heartiest welcome. And now with this, I would now like to request our moderator, Mr. Vikram Kelkar, to kindly take the session forward.
So all panelists, I think we have one more who is missing, is it? Oh, okay. Oh, no, Dr. Apratim is here. Yeah, that's what. Please come. Welcome, Dr. Apratim. Yeah, thank you very much for the round of introductions. So greetings to everybody. Welcome to this panel discussion. I'm Vikram Kelkar, Managing Director of Hexagon Nutrition, and it's a pleasure to welcome you all to this insightful session on lifestyle changes and nutraceuticals. So we are talking about nutrients, foods, diets, and people. So today, lifestyle patterns across the world are changing rapidly. Lifestyle and nutrition preferences vary across generations. So we are having the baby boomers, the millennials, and the Gen Z consumers who each are having their own preferences and their lifestyles, and when it comes to their health and nutrition, also the needs are different. So we will take expert comments and insights from the panelists. So without further ado, I would like to ask questions to the panelists and hear from them. So my first question is to Mr. Pratap Swain from Parle. So Pratap ji, would you please tell us, what cost optimization strategies should the companies adopt to effectively address the current geopolitical crisis?
Thank you. Thank you for asking this question. Good afternoon, everyone. Currently, as all of you know, we are running through a lot of geopolitical crisis. That means, so for me, it is like we have plenty of unknowns. So we really don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or after a few months. I mean, if you see all our raw materials, whether it is wheat flour, oil, or cocoa powder, I mean, all the prices are gone up like anything. So this is the time I feel we have to convert all those unknowns into risk, and then but then we have to think how we can translate those risks to opportunity. So there is this is the time, and we should quantify the risk, and then we have to analyze ourselves how we can benefit ourselves from taking that risk and converting that risks to opportunity. So that is the need of the hour, and together we should do it. So I mean, when I'm saying together we should do it, all the stakeholders should take that ownership. We should come together to a single platform. We need a lot of collaboration, lot of coordination is required, and also we need to have a lot of co-innovation. So within all the stakeholders. So then only things can be possible. And lastly, I should say, we have to reduce dependency on the imported ingredients. So we have to, the approach should be think global and act local. So that is the mantra for the success. So we should focus on that. Thank you.
Very well said, Pratap. So my next question is to Rajesh Nodial from the DS Group. So it will be great to know on the use of spices as nutraceuticals and what are the methods to prevent its nutritional value loss during the processing.
So as the spices are used to enhance the taste of the food, but they have certain nutritional value and certain medicinal value, so they are used as the nutraceuticals also. The spices and nutraceuticals are very closely connected as they have certain probiotic compounds like anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, which can be used in certain diseases. Over the years and in traditional folk methods, the spices are being used for certain diseases like dysentery, diarrhea, removing worms from intestine and other things. So there are certain spices which are very important, like turmeric, which is in which curcumin is found. The curcumin is antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, used in cancer also, and in certain cases it also used in Alzheimer's diseases. Then there is ginger, having that active ingredient gingerly, which is used as a digestive agent. Then there is garlic, having allicin, which is used in the heart diseases. Then there is black pepper, having peppermint. Peppermint is used as a absorbent of the nutrient. Cinnamon, having cinnamoldehyde, which is used in diabetes. And clove, having eugenol, which is used in digestion and in all dental health. So as the spices are very volumetric product, one of the challenge is to processing of the spices. To overcome that value, we need a very large types of the machine. As you know, most of the spices are in the ground form, are consumed in the ground form. So how to preserve the nutraceuticals value of the spices? This is a challenge. So there are generally 3 methods are applied to overcome these method, and in these grinder, as you know, spices are only grinded into the grinders. So these methods are: number 1, circulating the cool air in the grinder chamber; number 2, the cool chamber grinder. So these 2 methods are very ineffective as they reduce the temperature 1 to 2 degrees Celsius, and in the chamber temperature increase 55 to 75 degrees Celsius, which it reduces the volatile oil and therapeutic property of the spices. So now the latest technique of these spices is the cryogenic grinding. The cryogenic grinding, where temperature are where the spices are cooled -20 to -80 degrees Celsius and even more, so that they can become brittle and easily grinded. So in this temperature, the aroma, the volatile content, and the therapeutic properties of spices remain content. So how these spices are cooled in that temperature? There are generally 2 media are applied. One is liquid nitrogen and other is liquid carbon dioxide. But in industry generally liquid nitrogen is preferred, as it is inert gas and it doesn't left any smell and any aroma and evaporate easily. So the use of these cryogenic grinding has various significant value addition in the spices industry. They can retain the volatile oil and therapeutic content more than 90%. They can increase the potency by 40%, and the texture and aroma of the spices are very good. So one of the challenge of this liquid nitrogen grinding is this is very costly affair. Generally, if you reduce the temperature to 0 degree, 1 kg of per kg spices liquid nitrogen is required. So the average rate of liquid nitrogen is 10 to 12 rupees. So it increases the cost of the 10 to 12 rupees of the spices. But if, but the properties of the spices are very good. And so the liquid nitrogen is the option to preserve the therapeutic property of the spices. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was a very informative and knowledgeable, insight that you have given. So my next question is for Dr. Narendra Tripathi of BACFO Pharma. So please tell us how does regulatory support the growth of nutraceutical and health supplement products?
Thank you. Thank you for the question. Regulatory plays very significant role. Basically, if we talk about in the terms of the regulation, then definitely it is very diversified role. From the inception from the establishing of the unit till release of the product, and a part of the, even though if we are getting the complaint from the market also, and it depends on the level of the nature. And if we see the regulatory part, so it first and foremost function of the regulation is to build the confidence among the consumers. What the product they are going to consume, whether it has been approved by the authority or it has not been approved. Unauthorized product it may be spurious, it may be counterfeited, it may be in any form that may be injurious to the health of the human being. So one of the foremost function is to build confidence in the consumers. A part of that, it also help to standardization, like what kind of the claim is standardization, what kind of the claims we have to mention on the product basically very clear way, so that consumer can get the sufficient and sound information, and it must be clear. Suppose if we are going to manufacturing and packing of the protein powder, and we are not mentioning clearly about its intended uses, how it is to be used, and what number of serving we have to use. So it may be misleading, it may be in the different to the consumer part. Like if we are suppose we are taking if suppose scoop serving is not mentioned there, we are taking as per our wishes, and we have to consume support 30 gram in 200 ml of water, and we are taking the number of a spoon and consuming, then definitely there may be adverse impact. So regulatory part, regulation always focused on that, how as much as information can be provided to the consumer. So regulatory plays the other significant role. A part of that, the addressing of the grievances is the one of the major important role. That is, we can see in at the number of the metro stations can be, in case of the any complaint, kindly call to the FSSI and kindly put their mail. And where they are, if we talk about that FSI part, they are playing very dynamic role. Even though in order to address the grievances, if there are the areas where they are not visible, they are making the chain kind of the system by creating some nodal officers. Those are already in positions, and they are also supporting to the address of the grievances pertaining to the nutraceuticals, pertaining to the claims, and they have good tie-up from the central, has good tie-up with the state food inspector and state food safety officers, so that they can go to the nearby manufacturing unit and they can do the inquiry and find out what is the basically problem in the manufacturing part. So these are the basic role. And one of the most important other role, like aligning of the regulation with the international, aligning whatever the local regulation, how it can be fitted with the global regulation, how it can be fitted to the international regulation. Finally, so that we should not we can avoid the duplicacy part. We should one product we are manufacturing with other way, another product we are manufacturing with a different standard, and there may be cost higher cost, and finally what will be, manufacturer will be suffer. So there are the numbers of the benefit, numbers of the way regulatory regulation is supporting to the industry, to the nutraceutical industries. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tripathi. So my next question is for Dr. Tyagi from Haldiram. So with the growing consumer demand for healthier foods, how is your industry going to expand its portfolio of low fat, low salt, and low sugar products? And what does the roadmap look like ahead?
Okay. Good afternoon to everybody. First of all, I will take the low sugar. We have already reduced our 10 to 15% sugar in all our sweets as compared to local sweet, number one. And secondly, we have also no added sugar, which are available in our selected restaurant outlet. And thirdly, we have also developed the low sugar sweet. So for the sugar point of view, we have already done all the R&D research and implemented up to some extent, because the demand of low sugar or no added sugar sweet is very selective, mainly in the urban. Therefore, we have decided to put our no added sugar sweet on our selected restaurant, but on the demand. No added sugar is available on each and every restaurant, because our factory and kitchen is the common. Now we come to the low fat product. We have already many low fat products in our portfolio, and this have done, I think we have done before 7 to 8 years. For example, you take the example of the roasted chana cracker. It is roasted and have the fat maybe 10 to 12%. If you take the example of roasted salted peanut, so this have 3 to 4% fat only. Roasted crushed peanut, then diet murmura. So if you take the example of moong dal, this is also low fat. This has 18% fat as compared to other snacks which have 35 to 40% fat. So in nutshell, we have already implemented low sugar sweets in the market. We have already, our snack already available with the low fat and also up to the roasted snack also. Now we come to the third point, that is the low salt. We are working on the low salt, and we will able to achieve about 15 to 20% reduction of the sodium in our snack. And it is on the implementation stage. So maybe in next 6 months or 1 year, you will get 15 to 20% sodium reduction in our Haldiram portfolio. This is all about all three categories. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Glad to see the reduction in the three difficult parts, that is the sugar, fat, and salt. So my next question is to Kejal Joshi from Marico. So the question is, does every individual with higher BMI need GLP-1? If no, then what shall be the approach from a nutrition expert's point of view to achieve and sustain a healthy lifestyle?
Thanks for the question, Dr. Kelkar. GLP-1, right? Whomsoever, every third or fourth individual hears this word, their, antenna is automatically activated, right? What is GLP-1? Anyone? Any idea? What is GLP-1? GLP-1 agonist, something which is already there in the market. Anyone would like to answer? Pardon? Okay, satiety hormone, yes. Absolutely right, madam. So GLP-1 is basically a hormone which is produced by your body only, and which usually, triggers satiety. Other than that, it also, activates your, glycemic control, improves your insulin sensitivity. So because of these mechanisms, this drug was largely, invented for people who have diabetes and some other comorbidities, like, having excess body weight, having, high blood pressure, or any cardiometabolic risk factors being present there. So nowadays it has become a trend because the action of GLP-1 agonist has proven that it helps in reducing glycemic, spikes, helps manage your insulin levels, and gives weight reduction. right? So that's how the trend has become very popular. And, being a nutritionist, I know, every fourth individual, and I really have empathy for my fellows in the industry, where, every third or fourth client will come and say that, madam, mujhe 15 din mein itna kg weight loss karna hai, because I have a shadi in the family, and then I need to flaunt my ghagra, whatsoever it is. So that's where the trend had become so much into, action, where people were ready to pay anything. But the thing is that it is imperative to understand the medical aspect of it. This being a pharmacological treatment, it cannot be taken as an OTC. Right? So everybody who has slightly higher BMI is not eligible for GLP-1. The decision lies with the endocrinologist and the experts, where if the individual is not able to lose weight or having this higher body weight for more than a decade or so, and not being able to lose weight because of some other reasons, so the reason identification, precision nutrition, and identification of the root cause is very important for the individual to have, on paper, that what is the reason where the person is not able to lose weight, or what is the reason, what indicator is showing that this is causing higher weight. Like, it could be inflammation, it could be high cortisol, it could be high reactive proteins. So that has to be assessed first. Secondly, when the person is on GLP-1, it's not a magical, treatment. It has to have a discipline and a regime to be followed very stringently. Right? So when a person is on GLP-1, the person cannot think that, okay, मैं 15 दिन लूँगा, थोड़ा weight loss हो जाएगा, and then I can eat whatever I want and I won't gain weight. Right? There are proven studies where people who have been on GLP-1 treatment have also regained weight after some time. But those who have followed the regime with stricter discipline, where, the dietary treatment or dietary guidelines also have to be followed in a certain fashion. There are side effects also, where the person might observe changes in their, muscle mass, losing muscle mass, losing appetite. And because of that, there are multiple micronutrient deficiencies also which may arise. Right? So when a person is on GLP-1, the protein intake, then micronutrient intake, hydration has to be taken care of. Secondly, the side effects could be diarrhea and even irritability. So boomerang effect, when the person is not able to continue with the treatment because of these side effects, is much more exponential than their regular treatment. So that's where it is very essential that the decision is taken wisely and taken through the experts' advice. So usually it is recommended by WHO and Cleveland Clinic that the people who are above 30 kg per meter square BMI are eligible, but they might be having some other comorbidities also, where weight loss has not been possible till date. And the entire history, what does the entire history say? Is it just the pattern of eating is the root cause, or having higher insulin resistance hereditary is also the reason? So there are multiple factors that has to be looked into. That is what I'm just trying to explain. So eligibility of person being, taking GLP-1 lies with the expert. So please do not ever try to take it on your own. Secondly, managing the side effects is also very important. Third, dietary regime has to be followed along with the treatment. Then only you are going to see the impact. Otherwise, towards the end of 2 or 3 months, you will end up losing nothing. Or maybe if you have lost and not follow the treatment properly, the side effects will be on the higher side, which will cause you drop the treatment at that point. And that boomerang effect of regaining weight will be much more higher than what you were in the beginning. So that's where it has to be, it's a double-edged sword, and it has to be taken care of very, very carefully. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Joshi, for the insightful, information on the GLP-1. Now, on the same topic, I would like to ask the question to Dr. Apratim Sai of Dabur. So, as the GLP-1 agonist is rising at this present time for its role in the metabolic syndrome, so what would be the outlook like with respect to the nutraceuticals industry?
So, namaste and thank you for the question. Uh, you know, from the scientific point of view, if we see, the nutraceutical is a very beautiful field in the sense that it may or may not be the master of any trade. It definitely is the jack of all. The field of Nutra is a very wide and comprehensive field. Coming to GLP-1, let's see, the first thing is it's a lifestyle disease. When we say lifestyle disease, it simply means that everything about the disease or the science or the aspect we're discussing, it's about the way of life. When we say the way of life, the reason I'm describing this in this light is because, the approach is what is important. Every time we go around with the problem, but the fact lies that more than the problem, it's important to think about the solution. In current scenario, like all the fellow panelists as they discussed, we have upcoming challenges. Transport, fuel, commuting, relations, communications, everything, there's a disruption. Now, in such a disruption, I would like to, emphasize that the first thing first is have a measured, triggered approach. What I mean by this? If you see any kind of science, including the GLP-1, the first thing I would say that there has to be a core baseline of R&D. Focused, evidence-based research. That's first thing first. What I mean by this, as I said a few seconds ago, that it has to be a person-to-person need. India, Bharat में हमारा जो population है, it is a huge, huge gene pool. जो आप कश्मीर के लोगों पे करते हो, you cannot necessarily apply it for Kerala. Same thing, the difference lies with Odisha and Gujarat, for the example, right? So the thing is, we need to have evidence-based research ki which are the components which is applicable for the R&D perspective, for the wellness perspective for each of the population or the specific needs of the lifestyle. Point number one. Point number two, there is a need for a regulatory framework. We have a fellow panelist who is a regulatory expert here. Now, it's very important to see it from that point of view. And the third is the consumer awareness. The person who's consuming this kind of a stuff, he or she should, as Madam Kejal very well explained, it can't be an OTC. You just can't go to a shop and say, give me a GLP-1 antagonist or agonist. The thing is, the consumer should understand, mere ko kya chahiye? What is it exactly happening with me? What might be my requirement? And what are the market options? So industry, let's say, sir, plays that role that we cater to specific tailor-made needs for each, let's say, age group, let's say, metabolically, let's say, disease specifically. Coming to the exact question that you're asking now that I've given the background, GLP-1 ka replacement, agar we try to see the nutraceutical space, there might not be a direct answer to this, but the supplementary way, I would say, and this I'm quoting with reference papers. I've come across few papers in recent times, as late as 2025 publications in PubMed, where they are speaking about probiotics, they are talking about botanicals, they are talking about certain vitamins, which taken in regulated quantity in certain design ways may not really replace GLP-1, but they can help you avoid that. And the baseline, I just finish with this. See, Bharat mein, in India, we always have this baseline of economic challenges. Not every population can afford everything. We as industries need to focus on the fact, जो product हम बना रहे हैं, that has to be publicly feasible and available. So nutraceuticals have a great role in this. With the basis of our research, our consumer approach, and the regulatory frameworks, the three things I outlined, I think we will do a fantastic job in this. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much. So I would just like to continue with you again, for a second question, and it is related to menopausal syndrome. So, menopausal syndrome are rising, and considering this, can you share a few thoughts on botanicals that could be best suit, during these menopausal conditions?
Right. So when we talk about syndrome, let's say it's a kind of pattern. If you read up upon the thing called syndrome, it may not be a disease, but it might be a pattern. Okay. So menopause, which we understand generally happens at the later part of the life, but owing to certain lifestyle conditions, environmental challenges, in a very middle age, young age population, we do see these kind of challenges. A very well-known approach has been hormone replacement therapy, HRT, as it's called. Now, HRT has its own challenges. The best part of the body, I think we all would know this, is homeostasis. Body has its own mechanism of doing things and undoing things. But जब आप बाहर से कुछ देते हो, you start feeding the body. It gets dependent on this. And again, that's where the botanicals, the nutraceuticals come into the play. If you go to specifics, I will say that a lot of research is needed in this. But things like fennel, things like ginkgo biloba, things like even, Indian aspect, ashwagandha. Okay, ashwagandha, I know people do recognize it has its own challenges. But we cannot forget the fact that it's a great remedy. It's well known in Indian context, it's well available, and it has a lot of roles. So, while I may not be able to exactly specify, okay, go for this or do not go for this, because each of this, if you see the PubMed papers, they come with certain challenges, side effects. So, we may not be able to specify, but yes, with a little bit of R&D, we can definitely go into the details of the botanicals. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I would like to ask my next question to Rajesh Nodial again. As the industry moves to new visions, what are the nutraceuticals that can prevent the lifestyle diseases? If you can very briefly in 2 minutes, let us know.
So as we are into the metro cities, the lifestyle is very tough. So lifestyle diseases are caused only 4 to 5 regions. The food we take, we are taking high salt, high sweet and processed food. Number 2, the stress. The people are in stress due to their financial condition and other. Number 3, less sleep. People are sleeping very less over here due to this social media and other causes. And number 4, tobacco and alcohol. So these are the main reason for the lifestyle diseases. And what are the lifestyle diseases? There are basically 4 to 5 diseases which are very common occurrence. Number 1 is the cardiovascular diseases. Number 2, the obesity. Number 3, the diabetes. Number 4, osteoporosis and cancer. So first we come to cardiovascular diseases. The ICMR study suggested that 282 people of 1 lakh Indian died due to the cardiovascular diseases. So this is very high to the world average of 232. So what are the ingredients to be taken? The main is this garlic. This is an allicin to help in this cardiovascular diseases. Other is sargandha, raulphira, serpentina is also reduce the blood pressure, and this allicin reduce the cholesterol and metabolic. Now then comes the obesity. The study suggests that 41 million children below age 19 are obese. There are 15 million people of the age between 5 to 9 are having obesity problem, and 26 million people between age 10 to 19 having the obesity problem. So what are the reason for obesity is also lack of physical activity also. So what are the main ingredients like this green tea and fibrous diet. Next comes to this diabetes. The study suggests that 101 million people are Indian are diabetic. That is a total 11.4% population of India are diabetic, and 15.4 population in the form of pre-diabetes. What are the main the nutraceutical? The cinnamon, that is contain the cinnamonaldehyde, and again fibrous diet. I think. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rajiji. So my next question is to Dr. Tyagi. So what are the challenges for food industries to innovate new food category with nutrition benefits such as high protein, high fiber without change in the product taste, texture and expansion?
Okay. Basically, every food has the expansion. It is either way of the extrusion. It can be the low pressure, it can be high pressure extrusion, it can be the medium extrusion process. Suppose you are making any puff, so it has the some expansion to get the desired texture, which will be liked by the consumer. When you add the protein in the food, additional protein in the food, the expansion of the product reduced drastically, hence the texture will become very hard and consumer will not enjoy. Similarly, same fiber is the negative ingredient for extrusion and protein also negative ingredient for the extrusion. So we are doing the research on this subject since last 1 year because as you know Haldiram is for the taste and excellent texture. We cannot never compromise on the taste of the food and texture of the product, and we know the Indian consumer cannot eat any food as a medicine till he will not get the indulge and satisfaction of the taste and texture and appearance of the product. He will not eat whatever benefit you are going to be given. Hence, our theory and vision is very simple. Our taste of the product does not change. Our texture of the product does not change. Our appearance of the product does not change. And consumer feel just like he is eating our regular food. So we have taken the research on that subject and we have done, I think, more than 100 trial by innovating this subject. And I am proud to say the Haldiram has achieved same texture, same taste, same appearance with 20% protein and 2 to 3% fiber. You can't differentiate. If I put one regular food and I put with 20% protein and 2 to 3% fiber food, so you can't differentiate in taste and texture. And I think our one category with high protein and high fiber, with same taste, with same texture, with same appearance, is going to become within 3 months.
Right. Thank you very much, Dr. Tyagi. My next question is to Dr. Tripathi again. So, what are the roles of quality and food safety in maintenance of healthy lifestyle using nutraceutical and health supplement products?
Thank you, Vikramji. Quality and food safety both are the pillar of manufacturing unit, as well as the it provides the back end support to your life, our lifestyle. Suppose through the quality we assure the potency and purity of the product from the inception. If you can see the receiving of the raw material till release of the product, and whereas if we look the food safety aspect, through these tools we assure that whatever the food product we are going to manufacture, it is free from any kind of the contamination like physical, chemical and biological. If suppose both are the not addressed from the inception, whatever the products we are going to push in the market, that will be that will be under quality. It means that will be service standard, as well as whatever the food in the term of the safety, that will be the unsafe. Suppose these products are consumed by us, these products are consumed by our consumers, what will be the result? What the lifestyle we are opting, that will be impacted very badly. It is not going to support anymore what kind of the products at any cost, at the previous cost we are paying for value for the purchasing from the market, we are receiving, we are getting it and we are using it. It is going to impact our lifestyle badly. It may alter our metabolism, it may create different kind of the problems. Because of it may be some problems that may be unforeseen, which we cannot expect because of the present of high quality. Suppose if you take the case of the food safety concern, it is metallic contamination itself. It may be, suppose our food is rich with the heavy metals like containing lead, cadmium, mercury, methyl mercury, tin, etc., then definitely it is going to have a very serious side effect on our body. Similarly, if we are getting the pesticide exposed product, then definitely it will also have the similar kind of the side effect in our lifestyle and mechanism. So definitely these quality and food safety are the pillars to provide the quality, safe and consumable, we can say like a safe food product to the consumers. So there is extreme need to adhere with it throughout the manufacturing process.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Tripathi. So my last question is to Ms. Kejal Joshi. So what are the key scientific gaps or limitations in current research on nutraceutical inventions for aging, and how can future studies address these challenges? If you can briefly tell us so that we can have a round of questions for the audience as well.
So looking at the age group that we are talking about is aging population, right? Currently, on an average, if you see the Indian population's mean age or median age is 29 years in the productive age group, right? So we largely have, aging population who are either towards the, I mean, the aging starts from late 40s, and then of course the geriatric population average age goes up to 70, which is in general, few people do cross 90s also, God's bless. So the thing is that when we are designing a nutraceutical product specific to that age group, targeting their, the conditions that they are, currently into. I mean, they might not be into their full of health or completely in a normal state. As we all know, India is the capital of diabetes, obesity, cardiometabolic risk factors as well. So one or the other comorbidity will be present in that age group. That has to be taken into consideration. Secondly, the digestibility, because the digestion power reduces towards the late 50s or so. So that's where the product which is designed, for example, if you take protein powders, so they have to have the composition where the protein is easily digested, or if not, then some enzyme has to be added to it to support digestibility. Secondly, even using any kind of nutrient salts in the product, it has to be again more bioavailable or easily absorbable form, where the ratio should be more than 80%. So those kind of criteria have to be taken into consideration when you're designing. Third is about launching no added sugar variants is a safe option in my opinion, because people who are in that age group either will be insulin resistant or will be suffering from diabetes, or at least impaired glucose levels at that stage. So it is very important for us to have these variants in market, so that whomsoever wants to add sugar to it, that the choice remains with the consumers. So these are the major things. Third, most important thing is the clinically proven, that is applicable to all products that are there in the market. So clinically proven ingredients either, or their efficacy levels, where the clinical on which the clinical trials have been carried out. And third is synergistic effect of multiple ingredients that you are using in the product. That is very important, because once you may try to give more benefits of omega-3, for example, and you give a higher dose, but the other ingredient which might not be quite synergistic or impacting the efficacy of that ingredient has also to be studied when you are adding it to the same formulation. So that is more important.
Thank you very much. I think it was an insightful panel discussion. Just we have time for one question from the audience, if at all there is any. If not, then I would like to say that thank you for your valuable insights and participation in the session. To esteemed panelists, it was a pleasure moderating this session. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm sure the same is the case with the panelists as well as the audience. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening ahead.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. May I request our moderator, Mr. Vikram Kelkar, to kindly felicitate our panelists. Requesting, sir, to please felicitate Dr. Narendra Tripathi. Let's have a big round of applause. May I request you to kindly felicitate Mr. Rajesh Nodial. Next is Mr. Pratap Swain from Parley Biscuits. Requesting you to kindly felicitate Dr. A.K. Tyagi, Executive Director, Haldiram Snacks. May I request you to please felicitate Dr. Kejal Joshi, Nutrition Manager, Food R&D, Marico. May I request you to kindly felicitate Dr. Sai Apratim from Dabur, India. Time for a group picture. Let's have a big round of applause for all the panelists and our moderator for such a meaningful and deeply engaging session. Thank you.